Hi guys. I know there was a lot going on. I just needed to get myself settled. How are you doing today? How is your day going? Is it amazing? Is it everything you want it to be? Have you been giving yourself the time to calm your nervous system, relax your mind, and become clear on what you need? Yeah. You know, doesn't it feel good when you move through life and you're not rushing and you're not worrying and you're at complete peace and ease within yourself? That's why it's so important to just take time out for yourself, you know? I've noticed a lot of people can't do it. And I think, and this is just this isn't a well thought through thought, but I think a lot of people have dysregulated nervous systems. That's where anxiety comes from. That's where worry comes from. That's where fear comes from. That's where, you know, people don't know how to relax themselves or calm themselves. And they're in a constant state of mania and panic. And I think we all know that when you are in a state of mania or panic, it's just so hard to function in a natural way, you know? Shucksy. I really wasn't prepared for this video. I'll be back. So, today's video is going to be a little different. It's going to be fun. It's going to be something I've never done before. And you may or may not be into it, but I'm just going to go with it. So today I was going to talk about, like, I guess, reading material that I feel has helped me on my quest towards self-realization. I mean, there's so many books out there. There's so much information out there. Sometimes it can be very, I want to say, difficult to sift through all this stuff and really get to the gold, you know? But, oh, hey, Seal. I want to say, if I were to suggest reading material to people, I have my suggestions right here. So, the first person that helped me on my quest towards self-realization is this guy here, Paramahansa Yogananda. If you haven't read any of his books, I highly recommend. You know, there's all these self-help books out there, and there's all this information and data floating around, but this has been one of the most profound books for authors or spiritual teachers that I have encountered, and he has helped me immensely. I also recommend any books authored by Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda. Anything authored by Yogi Ramacharaka. I have like volumes of books authored by this gentleman. I also have volumes of books authored by Swami Vivekananda, and I also have volumes of books authored by this guy. And and his name is Hazrat Inayat Khan. He's a Sufi mystic. To add to this video, I am going to just randomly open to pages and read whatever comes up, because that's how I normally pull for messages that I need in the moment. Yeah, I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but I've said this in previous videos. When I am like at a crossroads, or I'm not sure about something, or I'm seeking clarity on a particular thing that's occurring currently in my life, I have tendencies to just kind of, I don't know if I pull this knowledge or if the universe allows me access to see these messages so I can get more clarity. But it just happens in such a way where like I'll be drawn to a book, or I'll be drawn to a particular site, or something will show up on my feed that was totally in correlation to how I'm feeling in the moment. It's happened so many times. I can't even explain it. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, this is a completely new video. I've never done this before. You know what is funny? So I pulled these books particularly from my bookshelf, and when I thumbed through this book, I found something that I wrote. I don't even know when I wrote it because I didn't date it. But yeah, if you look at my books, especially some books, they're like, I've overused them. They're like falling apart. Do you see this? They're falling apart. Yeah, a lot of like underlying and I don't know, like, sorry, I'm at a loss for words at this moment. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. Well, you know what? Let me start by reading this, because this is what opened up to me at first. It's something that I wrote back in 2010. This book has been a blessing from God. Never have I ever wanted to savor and cherish every single word, moment, and lesson until my eyes came into contact with Paramahansa's message. The veils have been removed slowly and subtly in a most timely manner so that I may understand, realize who I am, and what steps I must undertake to ascend back home, to return to a place of everlasting fulfillment, but most of all, to remember what I forgot. I pray that all who are asleep awaken. I pray that all who are lost be found. I pray that all who are engulfed in darkness find light. I pray that all who have forgotten remember. Love, light, and blessing to you. May love, light, and blessings permeate throughout all of existence. To truth seekers, we are all on our own journey, but other tools that may help you progress. Oh, what do you know? Books by Yehuda Berg. Books by Paramahansa Yogananda. Books by Kirpal Singh. Osho, Devin Grace. And then I also listed A Course in Miracles. So I guess that is the page that I was supposed to read from this book. Interesting how that turned up while I was making this video. Okay, I'm going to go to this book and let us just enlighten ourselves. Well, it did stop on this page. When a man has forgotten himself altogether and does not feel that anything belongs to him, then he acquires the state of tadiyata. Everything is sacred to him because it belongs to the beloved. Even with regard to earthly love, the lover thinks that everything belonging to his beloved is sacred and very dear to him. He loves even a piece of the cloth belonging to the darling of his heart. In the same way, when a person loves the Lord, the whole universe becomes clear to him because it is all his. Then I will move on to this guy, Science of Breath. I don't know what we're going to pull from this guy, but let's see. Even the nervous system suffers from improper breathing, inasmuch as the brain, the spinal cord, the nerve centers, and the nerves themselves, when improperly nourished by means of the blood, become poor and inefficient instruments for generating, storing, and transmitting the nerve currents. And improperly nourished, they will become if sufficient oxygen is not absorbed through the lungs. There is another aspect of the case whereby the nerve currents themselves, or rather the force from which the nerve currents spring, become lessened from want of proper breathing. But this belongs to another phase of the subject, which is treated of in other chapters of this book. And our purpose here is to direct your attention to the fact that the mechanism of the nervous system is rendered inefficient as an instrument for conveying nerve force, as the indirect result of a lack of proper breathing. The yogis are advocates of continence and chastity and have learned to control the animal passions. But sexual control, I'm so sorry, I can't breathe. But read. I guess I can't read because I'm not breathing properly. Wait. Sexual control does not mean sexual weakness, and the yogi teachings are that the man or woman whose reproductive organism is normal and healthy will have a stronger will with which to control himself or herself. The yogi believes that much of the perversion of this wonderful part of the system comes from a lack of normal health and results from a morbid rather than a normal condition of these organs. Anyways, this book is very technical. Very technical. It goes into like literally like your breath and how to breathe properly, and when you don't breathe properly, how that affects your whole mechanism and how it functions and operates. It's very interesting. Very technical. I don't know. I think maybe some of these books might be hard to digest for some people. Just depends on your level of comprehension and awareness. I don't know. This guy, oh my God. It's like he blends spirituality and philosophy and mysticism and science all into one and creates this beautiful symphony of words that touch your soul. I mean it though, seriously. Okay, let's see what he has to tell us today. What do you know? There's already some outline things in here. For some, sleep is good for their health. The work of the Sufi is to give a helping hand to those who have had sufficient sleep and who now begin to stir in their sleep, to turn over. And it is that kind of help which is the real initiation. The way was that with open heart, with perfect confidence and trust, they watched every attitude of the teacher, both towards friends and towards people who looked at him with contempt. They watched their teacher in times of trouble and pain, how he endured it all. They say how patient and wise he had been in discussing with those who did not understand, answering everyone gently in his own language. He showed the mother spirit, the father spirit, the brother spirit, the child spirit, the friend spirit, forgiving kindness, an ever tolerant nature, respect for the aged, compassion for all, the throughout understanding of human nature. Contemplation, living of a life such as a Sufi ought to live. The one who lives the life of initiation not only lives himself, but also makes others who come in contact with him alive. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys are getting this, guys, because that's pretty like complex stuff, I feel. Like, I feel like I've tried to read some of this stuff to like most people, and they get lost. They just stop comprehending after like the first sentence. But to end this video, which I don't know is enjoyable, I am going to read what I wrote on this paper. And I don't know when I wrote it, but it must have been some time ago. I arrived at a stage where I touched the music of the spheres. Then every soul became a musical note, and all of life became music. Now, if I do anything, it is to tune souls instead of instruments, to harmonize people instead of notes. If there is anything in my philosophy, it is the law of harmony, that one must put oneself in harmony with oneself and others. I have found in every word a certain musical value, a melody in every thought, harmony in every feeling. Man is not only formed by vibrations, but he lives and moves in them. They surround him as the fish is surrounded by water, and he contains them within him as the tank contains water. The different moods, inclinations, affairs, successes, and failures, and all conditions of life depend on a certain activity of vibrations, whether these be thoughts, emotions, or feelings. Yeah. So that's today's video, guys. Totally out of the norm. Totally something that I wouldn't do. If you enjoyed it and learned anything, great. If you didn't, that's great too.